Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate it. I am Susan Weinstock, President and CEO of the Consumer Federation of America, and welcome to our event. We're thrilled to have you here. I want to thank the Urban Institute for co-hosting this event with us today, and to Dr. Lael Brainard, Director of the White House National Economic Council, for inviting us to be part of it. I'm so happy to be here to talk about the work being done by President Biden, CFA, the Urban Institute, and many of you here today to lower costs for consumer goods and services. Oftentimes, as policy advocates, our events and speeches are calls to action or a public acknowledgement of a harm that Americans are experiencing. It's actually refreshing to be here today together to acknowledge the work that's being done to lower costs for everyday Americans. CFA has been focused on this for 56 years, and we've been pleased to support important administration initiatives that will enable consumers to thrive in the marketplace rather than be squeezed by it. We've been through a lot of pricing fluctuation over the last few years, but thanks to the efforts of Dr. Brainard is going to discuss here today, the economy has improved greatly in a relatively short period of time. The economy is expanding, unemployment is at a record low, inflation has slowed considerably from its peak, and critically, inflation-adjusted or real disposable personal income rose 4.2% in 2023. CFA has been a thought leader and leading voice calling for lower costs for consumers across the economy in areas like food and agriculture, financial services, insurance, housing, transportation, retirement savings, and others. We all saw grocery prices soar at the start of the pandemic, far outpacing overall inflation for years. But back in February, overall food prices remained flat for the first time since April 2023, and now they've actually declined. CFA has actually a long history of working to rein in food prices, including opposing the Kroger-Albertsons merger, which would lead to increased grocery prices and fewer worker protections, supporting the USDA's efforts to rein in consolidated power over farmers and ranchers, advocating for better food labeling to avoid wasting money on overpriced and deceptively marketed products, and we've supported fully funding federal food assistance benefits. CFA also has welcomed and strongly supports the administration's war on junk fees in financial services, auto purchases, rental housing, internet, and cable bills. It goes across the economy, so much more. We fought the proliferation of these fees for years, and it's wonderful to see the whole of government approach to ending them across the economy. Junk fees are expensive, anti-competitive, and often unfair. We've seen government-wide enforcement actions, rulemakings, and advocacy efforts which will save consumers tens of billions of dollars every single year. The CFPB's efforts to lower credit card late fees and overdraft fees alone would save consumers over $13 billion annually. We fought hard to support the administration's push to keep money in Americans' pockets instead of being drained by these junk fees, and specifically have called on Congress to protect these Herculean efforts by the administration. Insurance costs are also a major budget item for consumers, and CFA has been working to empower and push regulators to scrutinize insurance rates and rate hikes. At this point, insurance costs are not a reaction to inflation, but a driver of it, and we are relentless in the fight against incessant demands for ever higher rates. We have also called for lower premiums to reflect the reduction risk homeowners and affordable housing developers and communities invest in loss mitigation. A primary factor that drives all of the diverse areas of advocacy at CFA is the way in which communities of color and low-income families are disproportionately impacted by these higher costs. Part of the goal of lowering costs is to protect what Americans have already earned and enhance the ability to be financially secure in the future. CFA has fought to protect the Department of Labor's retirement security rule, which will improve the quality of advice, products, and other services that retirement plan investors receive, and is estimated to save $55 billion in the small retirement market alone over the next 10 years. We've worked with the administration to fight back against excessive fees that cut into the nest eggs of retirement savers. Our America Saves initiative also provides information, tools, and tips to make it easier for people to save without shame or guilt. As I said, we are so pleased that the administration is working to rein in so many fees and costs that consumers are saddled with across the economy. And with all of this in mind, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lael Brainard, Director of the White House National Economic Council. Dr. Brainard is the President's top economic advisor with a broad history of achievements during her career in academia as a leading economist throughout multiple presidential administrations and as the Vice Chair of the Federal Reserve. Dr. Brainard has been a leading voice advocating for economic policies that protect working families, and we are thrilled to continue working with the National Economic Council under her leadership. So thank you.